Hello.
Hey, okay, there we go.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly. I don't know what the hell is going on. I went through my settings, microphone stuff, everything was on, so I don't know. I can't work technology too well.
Instagram's lacking.
Yeah, for real.
Well, thanks for agreeing to do this, man. I'm sorry about that technical difficulty.
Hey, no worries. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Of course, this interviewing thing is kind of new to me too, so I'm just trying to get like as many, local big names. I consider you a pretty big name.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's cool. We really appreciate that.
Well, you were just at the, what was it? Crew Dama Jam, eh?
Yeah, in Paris, Ontario yesterday, hosted by 519 Kendama.
That guy's cool. How'd that go?
Oh, it was super fun. There was pretty solid turnout. It went like about noon till I think 10. I think me and a buddy dipped around 7 because we had a little drive to get back home. But yeah, no, it was a wicked turnout. Lots of Dama, sweet games of Ken, some videos playing, a nice little chip truck. Everybody got some poutine, stuff like that. It was good.
No kidding. Noon to 10. That's like what the hell? That's like 11 hours. 10 hours.
I know. Yeah, it was solid.
Holy crap. So, I know who you are, but let everyone else know. Who are you and how did you find kendama?
All right. So my name's Sam Bailey. I've been playing kendama since October 19th, 2019. So the first time I saw a kendama was probably like 12 years ago, maybe. There's a family friend of ours who was a professional wake skater at the time, and his team put out like a big video, and during his part, he had a kendama. So I saw that, and then a couple of years ago, I saw it again on Instagram. I'm like, oh, that's the thing that Doyle was playing with or whatever. I'm like, oh, I've seen that before. So went on Amazon, typed in kendama, and I should have it right here. Came a little bit prepared.
Oh, no.
And I got this Jake Ween's Kusa Pro mod, so this is my first kendama. But through Instagram is how I found kendama, I guess.
That's awesome. No, there's like very old footage of me in like my room when I was in high school and I had a kendama, but I had no idea what you could do with it. I just saw it in like an Adam 22 video, and from there it kind of took off. Yeah, exactly. Once you get your first kendama, you're hooked for the most part, right? It snowballs. Like I started a club at school, and they tell me all the time how they're shredding till like 2 a.m.
Oh, that's wicked. Yeah, that's so sweet. Yeah, I love that. Love you starting to just get more people into it.
Exactly, right? It's good for the community. They haven't even tried like social media yet, so I'm excited to introduce them.
Yeah, once they get onto that just really changes everything. Like I was playing by myself for like 6 months before I kind of realized that there was a big community on Instagram, and then it was just full force from there on.
Oh yeah. You mentioned a Doyle guy, so leading on to that, who or what outside of kendama inspires you? Do you have any like side passions?
So when I get into something, I really get into something, and it just kind of takes over my life for the course that I'm doing it. So like before kendama, like I really like playing Pokemon Go, and I just outside walking all the time. Just it's really nice outside, especially in Muskoka, like beautiful landscapes and all that. So I was just really into walking around, catching digital monsters. And before that, I had dreadlocks, and it was just like everything dreadlock related. So for over 3 years now, like kendama has become my life. Like I'm not playing kendama, I'm watching Instagram clips, I'm watching videos on YouTube, I'm just like looking at my kendamas, and just like really appreciating everything it is really.
That's kind of part of the culture too, is just appreciating it, because you'll grow and get this huge collection. You won't know what to do with it, but just stare at it sometimes.
Exactly. And that's one of my favorite parts about it. Like it's just, they look so awesome just like sitting on your shelf. You're like, oh, that's like a playable piece of art. And it's something that just, it's really, really dear to my heart.
When all 5 of them line up in different colors, it's like the Power Rangers and explosions in the background.
Yeah, for real.
So you're doing a challenge right now that's pretty cool. You're doing the same trick, 1, 2, 3 inward lunar flip for 365 days.
Yes, sir. 1 year.
And from what I've seen, you haven't actually missed a day.
So I've missed days, but I've made up for the following days. Like for instance, when I was down at Brew Battle in Calgary this year, I didn't really do it a whole bunch. So when I got home, I just kind of stacked them all in one day. So I've done. So I'm on today will be day 236. So I've currently done 235 1-2-3s or variations with tricks in the start, but at this point I'm just doing 1-2-3s for the most part, nothing fancy.
Has it gotten easier? Do you realize it's just repetition?
Yeah, exactly. So like before, the triples were just kind of like coming down to timing, but then just like the more you practice, the more you get more comfortable with tracking the big cup and all that stuff. But it's still kind of hit and miss. It's not like I'm laced at like first tee or second tee like all the time. Like kendama's hard, as we all know. So you have your good days and your bad days, but it's been consistently getting easier for sure.
Absolutely. And I feel like with something like a trick of that cost is probably going to eventually get easier. You know, you start slow and then you get bigger. But have you noticed anything about yourself that has changed since starting to do the same trick every day? Like maybe you've changed a little?
Yeah, my knees and my back are getting a lot worse. Yeah, so that might be in part to me not doing as much stretching as I used to. But yeah, so basically I don't play kendama until I get off work for the most part. And then the first thing I'll do when I get home is like get my trick, so I just kind of get it out of the way. Then I can play more kendama later, and then have dinner and just kind of enjoy the rest of the evening and stuff. So I guess not too much has really changed besides just doing lots of lunars, which I kind of already did before.
You're not turning all the lights off or checking the locks like 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
No, no, not that
bad. So as I did with Damon and as I did with Quinn, I use this towards my essay. That essay has actually been handed in. I'm going to do a thesis instead, and maybe a video essay eventually at the end of the semester.
All right, that's sweet.
So with that, we're going to get into some more of like the heavier questions.
All right, let's do it.
Can you think of a time where maybe even at the gym for you that kendama was a form of communication?
So I've never really personally run into this where I've met people who don't speak the same language as me, so I can't really say that I've used kendama as a tool to talk to these people. But there have been lots of times where I'm just playing kendama and then people are walking by and then they stop and they're like, thumbs up, like, oh, that's really cool, like, are you filming a TikTok, are you doing, like, what are you doing?
I get that a lot.
So, like, yeah, so it's like it's a wooden ball and cup toy, yada yada yada.
But what about like someone that's like your polar opposite, and then they see you playing it, and all of a sudden they're inspired to do it?
Okay, yeah. So I play a lot of kendama outside the front of my house in the summertime, and we get a lot of traffic, a lot of foot traffic on my street. So there's been quite a few people that have been walking by and just again stop and look. They're like, oh, what is that? So I start talking to them about it, and then there's this one really sweet lady. She's an old grandma named Maggie. She's like, oh, that's really cool. Like, what is it? So then I gave her one for her grandson and everything like that. And she walks by all the time like, oh, Caleb's still playing with his kendama. He really, really likes it.
Low-key Maggie's just like hiding it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm really following your question perfectly there, but that's what I got.
No, that's perfect because like my brother gave his old kendama to my grandma recently. And yeah, I just never thought she'd even be into it. As it turns out, it's perfect for her. She's bored all the time. She needs something to do. I got her to Spike. She loves it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, sweet.
It's kind of that perfect tool for all generations. It really bridges a gap.
Yeah.
This is kind of one of the newer ones. How would you describe kendama's relationship with the topic of stress?
It definitely goes both ways. I feel it can be a great stress reliever when you got a lot of stuff going on. You're like, all right, just get that all in my head. I just want to focus on the task at hand, playing kendama, doing your tricks and stuff. But then at the same time, if you're not really in like the right mindset, if your head's not all there, it can be kind of frustrating and you can be a little bit hard on yourself, which I feel like a lot of people are kind of the same way, where they've kind of brought themselves up to their own standard, where they have to get better and better and better. And then if they can't do something within a certain time or just not working out, that can kind of induce stress while playing kendama. So it's kind of a double-edged sword in a way, you know?
It is, absolutely. Do you find like breaking out of that almost crystallized style that they would have, like trying a new trick or something, is kind of like the deterrent to that? Maybe it can kind of solve, like, just try something new, do something different.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been doing these 1, 2, 3 lunar flips for like a long time now, and there's been plenty of times where I'm like too hard on myself, like, oh, this is taking too long, and then I just kind of get a little bit frustrated, but I have to do it. Then when that's done, I'm like, okay, what else can I do? Just flow, just jam a little bit, and yeah, trying new tricks is a great way to really just kind of remember where you started from, and just learning brand new tricks for the first time is really really cool.
It's kind of beautiful like that because I skate on the side, right? And I tend to explain things through skating as allegories. And one that I always use is the tray flip and whirlwind. So
Yeah,
when you're first learning skating, the one you want to learn really bad is kick flip. And then you learn eventually 360 shove it. And then you put them together. Obviously, you're going to get the tray flip.
yeah,
It's just, you kind of remind yourself where you came from, like you said.
yeah, exactly.
So this new question is kind of fun. Has
Okay.
kendama ever benefited your love life?
Uh, Not really. My love life is kind of non-existent for the most part recently. But a couple months ago, I was seeing this girl for a little bit, and then she was pretty hyped on the kendama. Like, I had one in my car, just like the mini tiny one hanging over it. And she's like, "What's that?" And then I got right into it. Oh, it's a kendama. It's a Japanese twin skill toy. You can do this. You can do that. It's a great community. And she was playing with it for a little bit, but it hasn't really done anything personally in my love life. But I'm sure other people, I'm sure it has. So
We've
I'm not to that question, but yeah, it's yeah.
no, we've been at a bar a couple times, and there have been like young groups of girls that notice what a kendama is, and it's like, okay, yeah, it's kind of catching on. People understand, but then it just comes back to like, exactly, they want to try it. Their boyfriend probably had one or something,
Yeah,
and vice versa. You can use Ken for men.
yeah, yeah.
Does So here's another heavy one. Does anything in kendama scare you? Is there any anxiety surrounding kendama?
Not so. Not really. I guess maybe just kind of long-term effects on your body if you're going too hard and not like stretching properly and stuff like that. Like I was saying before, That's one thing that kind of comes to mind. Like, am I really breaking down my back and my knees doing this? Like, is this going to be beneficial for my health in the long run? So I think maybe that would be pretty much the only thing. But besides that, it's a great way to reduce anxiety just by playing it, I feel, for the most part.
That's true. For me, I ran into this one situation in skating where I was the last guy doing it, and I was the only one doing it for a very long period of time. And it kind of felt like, why am I even doing this anymore? It feels like it died out.
Okay.
There's something around that with kendama, but will kendama survive?
Fair enough. Okay, I can relate to that one a little bit since I'm in the small town and I'm the only person who plays. So, like, 95% of the time, I'm just playing by myself for myself. Like, I have some buddies in Aurelia and Barrie and the Toronto guys, but I can't always make it down to jam with them and everything. So it's just kind of playing with myself for the most part. So it just try to keep playing, keep it going. There's been a few times where I'm like, like, this is kind of dumb. Like, I'm not progressing or anything like that. Like, why am I still playing kendama? But then I realized, like, I just enjoy everything about kendama. And then I'm like, no, I'm just having a bad day or whatever. Like, just put down the kendama, come back to it another time, and then there you go.
It might honestly just be the day, because you don't just fall out of love with something,
Exactly, yeah. Just putting pressure on yourself, which is not a good thing to do while playing kendama. But then again, we all go through it. But you always reach these plateaus, right, where you think you're, okay, this is as good I'm going to get. And then you just break through it, and then the sky opens up again for you.
Yeah, and those plateaus, like, they can be long periods of time where it's discouraging. That breakthrough might not happen right away like you expect, like usual. I know I progress, like, it almost feels like minutes in kendama, whereas in skateboarding it takes like, it costs your body pretty much to learn something.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's something to kendama about progression, It just keeps on going.
Yeah, never stops. And with all the tricks coming out, like, you see something new every day, I swear. You're like, okay, I must have seen it all at this point. And then, what the heck did that person just do? And then that branches off to a whole other just genre of tricks and stuff like that. So anytime you think you've seen it all, like, it just proves that the possibilities for this thing are really endless. It really is.
Speaking of tricks, do you think you could do a 1-2-3 lunar for us?
Oh, I can give you a shot. I haven't picked up the kendama today. So, all right, so yeah, I got this whole little thing set up. So tell me if this will work over here.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, all right, move it over this way a little tiny bit. All right, I don't want to spend all day on this, so I'll give it a couple tries.
Oh my god.
One more. Okay, one more. It's always one more with kendama.
We call this Ken Lock and Ken Club.
Yeah. Oh well. I'll get it another time.
I'm sure we're going to see it later.
All right. Yeah, no, absolutely. I always got to get it.
Well, dude, that's crazy impressive. I mean, I tried doing that earlier, admittedly, because I was like, I'm doing an interview with Sam. I got to at least try it one time. Dude, the triple is so hard to get consistent.
Yeah, that flick, like, when you're first learning it, like, you're just hucking it as hard as you can, and then it's just like, oh, this thing's spinning so fast, like, oh, it's like luck at first, but yeah, just like I said before, you just keep practicing, you get better at it, and it just gets easier and easier.
It's kind of flowy, too. I've noticed that the flip has to be like, you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be gentle.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
We are coming up on, like, the near end. I'm going to hit you with two more.
Yeah.
And a lot of people really like this one. What's the worst trick in kendama?
The worst trick in kendama? Oh. Okay, there's no worst trick in kendama because kendama is hard. It's ridiculously hard. So big cup is banger. Big cup's a banger. But I would say the worst trick, in my opinion, just because I can't do them, would be probably like late Ken flips. I just don't understand them. Even normal Ken flips, I never really properly like learned Ken flips. So now my juggles are like, and late Ken flips are just like way over my head. Like, so I would say that's the worst kendama trick. Even though they're incredible, they're so crazy to watch. But for me, that's the worst trick, 100%.
I got a whirlwind late Ken the other day, and I like did a jog around the school. Like, I was stoked.
Yeah, just the victory lap.
Oh my god, yeah. People were like, this one kid saw me. Everybody else was like on their phones or something. But me and this one guy was like, you know what I did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I saw that.
I saw that. That was pretty sweet. No, I mean, that one I can relate to. I love juggling, but when people just add the late Ken in there, like, oh,
yeah. It's so sad to watch. And just late Ken's right to spike, too. It's like,
yeah. Ben Harold is doing pull-up Ken, jog Ken. Yeah.
Oh, man. Talking about Ben Harold, he posted like just a promo for like this new BH2 series or whatever.
Yes.
And he does, when he has it on the stool, like it's just sitting sideways, and he slaps it like triple A Ken off the stool right to spike.
Yeah.
And it just like watch that clip like 20 times. Like the sound is so perfect. It's just like a perfect clip. It's
I think I watched that this morning.
Incredible.
He is someone to eventually I would like to interview, but like I think he already did one, didn't he, with Kendama Cafe?
I know he did one with Dominards. He definitely did one with Dominards. I'm not too sure about Cafe Kendamas or not, but yeah, I've listened to all the Dominard podcasts like at least 2 or 3 times each.
Yeah, I've been starting to listen to like Dama Dads and stuff like that. It's just kind of funny to hear like relatable situations.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, do you have like any advice for up and coming kendama players? Like my club, you know, they all love that we interview you guys and big names and coming back to this.
Yeah, just keep playing. Just keep playing. Even if you're just doing a big cup a day or doing an earth turn, or you're walking by your house and you're like, oh, there's Dama. Just pick it up and do an earth turn. Like anything just to keep yourself focused on it, I guess. Just don't stop playing. Don't stop playing. I promise you, it'll get easier. It's so much fun. You'll meet a whole bunch of people. For all the new players, just keep playing. Don't stop. Don't ever stop.
Agreed.
Just love spreading it to them because they learn so fast, and they, it's easy to progress as a novice, but you look back at it and you're like, I wish I could just relearn, so much. And you said big cup is a banger. Absolutely facts. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Facts.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you give someone the kendama, like walking by or whatever, and like they get their first big cup or they get their first spike, like you can see in their face, like they're stoked on it, just as stoked as you are of them being stoked on it. You're like, yes, and they're like, yes, and it's just the best.
Oh man, I appreciate everything, man. Do you have any final words?
Keep on playing. Keep on playing.
Keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
Those are my final words, I guess.
I appreciate it. We gotta make it out to Muskoka sometime and jam.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Or there might be like Crew Dama 2023. See, I entered last one, but I had to pull out because of work.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I didn't make it down last year just because my car is not unreliable, but at the same time, it's like kind of iffy. But I'll be making it down to this Crew Dama jam in it. Crew Dama event in April, 100%.
Well, maybe we'll see you there.
Yeah, hopefully, man.
Yeah, maybe we'll pick you up.
Hey, yeah, no, I'd be down to carpool for sure.
Well,
throw in a gap, bring in a Dama, just name your price. I'll do it for you.
Ooh.
Oh, okay, maybe not. But, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. Maybe I'll bring the Kendama Club. They would love to be at a real jam.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, I'm at the Crew Dama one yesterday. There's a few, like, kind of newer players or whatever, and there's this one little kid, and it just, like, wicked to see. Like, yeah, just doing basic stuff. Like, we got new recruits. And, like, Cam was saying, he's like, there's so many people that I haven't even, like, met through Instagram that just showed up to the jam, and he's like that's wicked. It's so good to see.
Oh, bridging gaps.
Yeah.
Beautiful, man. Well, I'm going to let you go. I appreciate it so much, Sam.
No, thank you so much for doing this. Appreciate you.
And be sure to follow Sam. He's Bam Saley Kendama.
Bam Saley Kendama.
It'll be somewhere on there.
All right, cool. Thank you.
All right, have a good one, man, and take care.
You too, man. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Later.
Peace.
That was cute. Yeah, I like doing these.